Previously on the Stereo 999 YouTube channel.
Mystery Matt is up for the weekend to go dig for records. I think later today we're going to do Amoeba, maybe another store.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am your host, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve. So last week we saw my record exchange with Mystery Matt. That turned out to be a pretty eventful weekend. We saw Deerhoof play on Friday night and went to that record fair at the Bare Bottle Brewing Company that Dan the Record Man put on. Got a couple of things. It was more about hanging out, because just in that crowd it was no way I could dig through everything. But me and my friends did find some interesting stuff. Also hit some thrift stores and got some stuff. So a lot of fun was had, and a lot of media was accumulated. But I got a stack of records right here, and what I'm going to do is you know, just old school style with the computer camera at my desk, talk about that stack of records and see how that works into the video, you know. And we'll see. Maybe it'll stretch on to next week even, depending on, you know, because I like to keep my videos down to 20 minutes because it's already boring enough that nobody watches them according to the stats. So I may as well not push my luck, right? What is this band called? Witch Vomit. Okay. Bitches Brew. But anyway, so talking about this weekend. So you saw me and Mystery Matt give some records to each other. And then afterwards, we went to the Hate and ended up at Amoeba. And so I'm going to start out by talking about the records that I got at Amoeba. I got one expensive, more or less, thing that I actually wanted this for a while. This came out in 2023. This is the most recent Queens of the Stone Age album. It's called In Times New Roman. And the song Emotion Sickness has just been stuck in my head for a long time. But anyway, it's on that kind of silvery, warpy looking vinyl here. But it appears to be 3 sides and then like a 4th side that's maybe got a hidden message on it. I'm not sure. But, you know, if you like Josh Homme and company, this is a good record. I'm glad I finally picked it up. And I was kind of on the mission to fill some holes in my collection, and I made a list, which I didn't get anything on the list, but I hit the bargain bin and looked through the cheap used vinyl, and I did find a few things. I found this, a Hair of the Dog from Nazareth. Great album cover. And I was not sure about this band. I mean, I knew the song Love Hurts, and I knew, you know, I'd heard the Everly Brothers song, you know, from my relatives, from my uncle when I was a kid. So I knew that when it was on the radio. When I was 13, I picked up Nazareth Hot Tracks, which is kind of a greatest hits. And I was kind of underwhelmed by it, to be honest. But listening to this actual album, the deep cuts on this are great. There's a lot of just heavy riffs, and it's just got that screaming classic rock kind of thing. Gets a little bit trippy with the last song, Please Don't Judas Me. And now you're messing with the son of a bitch. And a bitch is a dog, and the son is an heir, so it's heir of the dog. All right. And then the Real Life Spinal Tap, Uriah Heep. I always thought this was kind of a cheesy album cover. Wonder World from Uriah Heep. This is one of the later ones that's on Warner Brothers. Does 1974 count as later? Not really, but the early albums on Mercury are really my favorite ones. But a colleague of mine back at the radio station said that this was, who was a big fan of the Heap, said this was the record that got him started. So I thought I may as well check it out. I finally found a clean copy of the actual Sunshine Superman album from Donovan. And, you know, it's got Sunshine Superman and Season of the Witch and a lot of great acoustic folky songs. And just as a connoisseur of, you know, 60s garage rock and hippie rock and psychedelic rock, this is kind of canon, so I'm glad to have a nice copy of this. Getting back to some of my new wave roots. New Toy by Lena Lovitch. I remember hearing this on the radio a lot back in the 80s. And it's a 6-song EP on the Stiff label. And she's great. I mean, you know, those kind of quirky 80s new wave female artists. She doesn't get talked about enough in the vinyl community. But I've got this and her record Stateless, and they're fun records. This one, the Wooden Tops, another late 80s, mid to late 80s new wave band that again doesn't get talked about as much these days. But I really liked their early stuff, like the early EPs that ended up on the Well album before this. Kind of my favorite work by them. This one's a little more pop. But I couldn't turn down a clean copy of this for $2. It's got some good songs. Get It On, Good Thing, and yeah. So yeah, you know, the Wooden Tops records, they turn up cheap, and they're worth grabbing. You know, if you like that 80s new wave music. And then of course, Holding this thing, this monstrosity. All right. Or at least, all right. There's the microscopic blob.
A few minutes later.
All right, Mystery Matt. We got a couple minutes before the chariot arrives. So what'd you end up getting?
Well, I had a lot of help from you. Love Songs by Charlie Pride.
Okay.
Little Country. You tell me about this.
This
one.
was my suggestion, yes.
Yeah.
The epic Love, Devotion, Surrender from Carlos Santana and John McLaughlin.
Yep, wanted something jazzy.
Bill Nelson's Red Noise. That was another one I talked you into.
Yep.
Bill Nelson from Bebop Deluxe, his new wave.
Now this is out of print. This is Mary Hopkins.
Those were the days, my friend. I thought they'd never
This is her
end.
hits compilation. It's out of print. It has songs like Tama Harbor.
Nice.
Very good record.
I almost got that actually.
Jethro Tull Benefit.
Oh, that's a goodie.
You recommended it a little bit more rock and roll.
Yeah, the copy of Aqualung was kind of chewed up. Was that in good shape?
Yes, it is. They had 3 copies. I picked out the best one.
Okay, because those are usually like beat to hell.
No.
Good album. So, yeah, you got to get some San Francisco hippie rock when you're in San Francisco.
Absolutely. Rhinoceros, I've heard of this. I actually don't know much about it.
They were kind of a super group. I think the drummer played with Zappa.
And Lee Miles' first album. No, not Lee Michaels.
Carnival of Life. Yeah, I would pull it out so you can see the face.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he's kind of...
Dun, 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 dun. You're either on the yacht or off the yacht. And I was always seeing these Pablo Cruz albums, but not seeing the one that I wanted, which was A Place in the Sun. Until this time. Place in the Sun, it has their song, What You Gonna Do When She Says Goodbye? And Place in the Sun, you know, it brings back some good FM album-oriented rock memories. And it's even got cruise in the title. So it's got to be yacht rock, right? This next one, this is kind of a guilty pleasure. And I got a little bit of flack. And for good reason. Because it's Journey, Evolution. This is the one that has Just the Same Way and Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin'. You know, just kind of earworms. And it's just funny because, you know, if you came up in the 80s, you know, 90s, and you were into underground sounds, you know, Journey was the band everybody loved to hate, you know, the faceless corporate rock. But for some reason, back to the garage rock, the 80s retro garage rock. And my homie Cosmic Brian's been on a kick of this 80s throwback to 60s garage rock. And this band, The Forgiven, on the Dionysus record label. This is a pretty solid example of that stuff. I mean, they've got like the trippy light show behind them, and the tight garage rock songs, and the nice old instruments like that. But there's a distinct sound to this to these revival bands. And this particular copy was signed by Rich Coffey, the main guy in the band. But yeah, Be Forgiven. This is solid. And one of my favorite bands from around that time, and these guys did not sound like the cliche 60s garage rock. They stretched it out. They were not afraid to bring the long jams and do it for real. Band called Plan 9. Not to be confused. There was another band called Plan 9 that kind of overlapped with them that were a Misfits cover band. But no, this is Plan 9 from Boston on the Enigma label. And this is their album Sea Hunt that I found at Amoeba. Title track is a long jam, and it's solid. It's I've never heard a Plan 9 record that I didn't like, even though it doesn't have the Rick Sloan artwork like this or this or this. Still a great album. So that was the Amoeba Haul. That was the Amoeba Haul.
Yeah, we don't want nobody telling us what to do. We don't want nobody pushing us around.
Mystery guest and Mystery Matt. Yeah, I hear you.
But tell
I hear
me,
you.
just what is it that you want to do?
Cinematic masterpiece here.
Well, we want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do.
Right.
We want to be free to ride.
So we're on our way.
We want to be free to ride our machines without being hassled by the man. And we want to get loaded.
They are having a
And we want to have a good time.
special beer and records event. Nothing really.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a party.
You know, I probably shouldn't have to tell you this, but like this video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And if you're new here, watch some of Steve's other videos, because they're probably a lot better than this one, and you haven't seen them yet. And yeah, leave a comment, any kind of comment. Well, be nice, be cool, don't be a jerk, but comments, you know, that makes Steve, comments will give Steve some dopamine, and he'll get over his imposter syndrome and keep making these videos.
Stop. 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 Show and tell. Just a game I play when I want to show you some records. So like and subscribe, and you'll see them next time too.